If you continue on in organizational leadership, you'll read this book in LDR 300, The Foundations of Leadership. But for today's class, I just want to give you a quick overview, a brief synopsis of the first chapter of this book to kind of help you understand a model for understanding what leadership really is. So first, Northouse discusses leadership as a trait or a behavior. If it's a trait, it's built upon people's personality, their physical characteristics, etc. This is kind of the leaders are born kind of an attitude. Or leadership could be a behavior. It's the things that leaders do to bring about change or accomplish a goal. But according to Northouse's definition, he asserts that there's just way too many definitions of leadership. And so his definition includes 4 components. And his definition is really more about the components than about the actual definition. Those 4 components, he describes leadership as a process. Leadership is about influence. It's about doing something with groups. And it's about accomplishing some kind of a goal. So let's break those down a little bit further. Leadership as a process, it's not about a trait or a characteristic. It's about a transactional event that occurs between the leader and the people that follow the leader. Leadership is about influence. It's how the leader actually affects followers. And it's the absolute essential element of leadership. Think about this. If you can't influence someone, you cannot lead them. And so every act, whenever you are influencing somebody, whether that means that you are getting them to agree with you politically, or to agree with you to go out to a certain movie or to go out to dinner together, that is an act of influence. And that in and of itself is a small act of leadership. The other 2 components are the fact that it happens within groups. It's the context with which leadership happens. And it's about influencing a group of individuals, not just a person. So leadership on a one-to-one level, Northouse might call coaching more than leadership. But in his definition, it really involves a group of people. And it's about getting that group of people to get towards a goal or to accomplish some kind of a task or a desired result. So in essence, it's about achieving something together. So his definition is leadership is a process whereby an individual influences a group of individuals to achieve a common goal. So he breaks down the trait perspective a little bit more because people still believe a lot in this trait idea. A trait means that it's an innate or inborn characteristic or quality. This really means that it's about unique physical or personality factors. Things like if you are a certain height or if you have charisma or extroversion. These things make people a leader according to this perspective. And what this really means is that we really have no control over if we are capable of being a leader or not, because so many of these things are determined in our DNA that we really shouldn't be having a class on leadership if leadership is really about just using your traits. So the process perspective suggests that leadership is more about this phenomenon that happens in this context and that anyone can learn to be a leader. And it's the process of leadership that people can observe and learn something about in order to change their behavior. So look at this little graphic here. If leadership is a trait on the left side, then leadership involves these things like height, intelligence, extroversion, all those kind of things. But if leadership is a process, then there's this interaction between the leader and the follower, and leadership is really about the interaction according to the process idea. The next thing that Northouse talks about is leadership that could be emergent or assigned. An assigned leader is someone who is a leader because they have an official position or some kind of role of authority or power in an organization. An emergent leader is someone who just naturally comes out of a group, and it's that the rest of the group perceives this person as having influence. And so really they become a leader whether they have a position of authority or not. Think about it this way. If you've ever been on a team, there might be a team captain or a coach that is the actual assigned leader of that team. But there are certain people on that team who people might respect more than others. And so that actually becomes another form of leadership, and Northouse would call that an emergent leader. So here's this quote out of the chapter. When a person is engaged in leadership, that person is a leader, whether he or she was assigned to be a leader or an emerged leader. So this is just a really quick 5-minute snapshot of what leadership is in terms of just some basic understandings that you're going to need to know to proceed through this class. Hope this was helpful.